Before we get into this video, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below saying I subscribed. We will try to personally reply to your comment. Enjoy. I asked my wife for a paternity test and she basically said she wanted a divorce. I am convinced that my wife's son is not mine. I believe that her work husband, as she called him, is the actual father. Ever since the baby was born 3 months ago, I've had these thoughts brewing. I told my wife last night that I wanted a paternity test, and she said, "I know that the test will come back with you as the father, but if you get one, consider our marriage over. I have small blue eyes, pale skin, and blonde hair, as do my parents, grandparents, and siblings. My wife has small blue eyes and red hair. Everyone in her family has either blue eyes and blonde or red hair. Yet, our baby was born with an olive skin tone, and huge brown eyes. You know who else has huge brown eyes and an olive skin tone? Her so-called work husband, Ryan, for the sake of the story, that I believed she may have had an affair with last year. One of my wife's co-workers is married to a co-worker of mine. He is the one who came to me and confided that his wife believed there was something fishy going on with my wife and Ryan. They were getting unnaturally close, spending time together alone even though they don't directly work together, and the way they were interacting with each other was causing rumors to spread throughout their office. His wife, knowing that he knew me, wanted to warn me that something may be up. I asked my wife about her relationship with Ryan, and she said he was her work husband, just someone that she could trust and be herself with at work, unlike everyone else. I told her that I was extremely uncomfortable with the way their friendship sounded, and asked that they spend a little less time together. She agreed, and that was the end of it. A few months later, we discovered that she was pregnant. This was genuinely happy news for us both, and we were excited to become parents. At a baby shower planned by some of her work friends and held at her office, I met Ryan and got a good look of his appearance. My wife and I were in a great place and very happy the entire pregnancy, and were super excited to welcome our little one. Yet despite always wanting to be a dad, when the baby was born, I didn't feel a connection to him. The first time he was put in my arms, I expected to be overtaken with emotions the way I'd always heard I would. It makes me feel like a jerk to say it, but I just felt kind of empty instead. I chucked it up to nervousness being able to be in the room when he was born. As the months have passed and the baby has gotten bigger, I've noticed how little he looks like myself and my wife. His skin and hair have gotten darker, the nose doesn't seem to match either of ours, and he even has a cleft chin when no one in my family does, and none on my wife's come to mind that do either. Seeing him age has just given me more doubts. Last night, I admitted to my wife my fears, and asked if there was a way that the baby isn't mine. She reacted extremely negatively, as I figured, told me she'd never been more insulted, and said that she had never and would never cheat on me with Ryan or anyone. I told her for my peace of mind I wanted to have a paternity test, and that's when she said that if I got one she would consider our marriage over regardless of the test results. I know that if my wife actually was faithful, she has every right to be offended by concerns, but I'm of the mind that the fact that the child was conceived around the time she was hanging out with work husband and he has features that match him justify my concerns. And also I question how it's at all fair for my wife to want to leave me if the baby is both ours just because I wanted that confirmation. Do you think my wife's behavior is shady? Ladies, how would you respond in this situation if you were my wife? I wish I would have just swapped the kid myself, and I probably will if she keeps acting irrationally. I just feel like her response is over the top and indicative that something did go on between her and Ryan. What are your thoughts? I bullied someone who was just asking if I was okay. That was a classmate bullied by barely everyone. He hasn't done anything wrong. He just didn't understand how to communicate with other people and had bad grades. Everyone called him Fat Dumbus. I wasn't friend with the bullies, but every day I came to school, saw my classmates hurt him and didn't do anything to help him. Until that day, when I was crying in a corner alone for a reason I forgot. He sat next to me and asked if I was okay. I wanted to be alone and he was just trying to help me, but I got mad. I yelled at him horrible things, then he stood up, walked away, and I cried again. It was years ago. He's not bullied anymore and I still see him at school, but I never apologized. Never. And now I'm so ashamed. When I see him, I literally run away. I know he's nice and will accept my apologies if I talk to him, but I can't. Edit. Your comments really help me and you're right. I need to apologize to him when I see him. All I think is I was so mean. And being sad wasn't an excuse. How can he accept my apologies after years? It makes me feel sad and afraid and I run away. I'll tell him when I'll go back to school. I won't be a coward anymore. Thank you so much.